you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where we are always striving to find the most obscure answers. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hello there. I'm Neil from Belfast, living in Newcastle at the moment, and this is Adam, who also lives in Newcastle.
Couple number two.
I'm Vicky, and this is my dad, Tim, and we're from Norwich.
Couple number three.
My name's Mel, and this is my partner, Stuart, and we're from Evesham in Worcestershire.
And finally, couple number four.
I'm Pete, and this is my son Nathan. We're both from Gisborough.
And these are today's contestants. Thanks, all of you. We'll find out more about you throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce. Britain's third best Richard Osman tribute act. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hi, everyone. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not bad at all. I've got a little challenge for you in round one. I've got some pronunciations for you.
Good.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where we'll see what you're made of.
OK, good.
We've got two returning pairs today. Stuart and Mel did very well last time, didn't they? Got through to the head-to-head, so they might be tricky to beat today. Pete and Nathan, we thought we were going to go all the way last time. They were terrific in round one, then they hit the buffer slightly in round two. But we did discover that Pete is Britain's youngest-looking 45-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is just a little close-up on Pete for a minute. That is,
I just suddenly thought a look of Mark Wahlberg about Pete.
Yeah, like a young Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, young, yeah. Back in the day. Anyway, what sort of game have we got, Richard?
Yeah, cracker. As I say, round one.
Oh, brilliant, yes.
It's a little bit of a challenge for you.
I'm going to look
too terrible. I think you'll be all right.
I'll be up to it. Hope so. Now, all our questions on Pointless have been put to 100 people before the show, and our contestants here obviously need to find the obscure answers our 100 people couldn't find. Now, what everyone's trying to do is to find a pointless answer, which is an answer that none of our 100 people gave, and each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Todd and Sam didn't win the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that, so today's jackpot starts off at £5,000. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, in this first round, I want an answer from each of you, but there is to be no conferring. And at the end of the round, whichever team has the highest score will be heading home. OK, our first category today is designers. Designers. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and the question concerns first names of famous designers. Famous designers and their first names. Richard.
On each pass, we're going to show you the surnames of 7 famous fashion designers and their date of birth in brackets as well. We just need you to give us their first names, please. It's going to be 14 fashion designers to get at home. Good luck.
OK, so we are looking for the first names of these fashion designers, and here's our first board of 7. Ritchie, 1883, Vionnet, 1876, Dior, 1905, Herrera, 1939, Amy's, 1909, Wang, 1949, and Saint Laurent, 1936. I'll read those one last time. So far, so good?
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
Ritchie, 1883, Vionnet, 1876, Dior, 1905, Herrera, 1939, Amy's, 1909, Wang, 1949, and Saint Laurent, 1936. Now then, Neil and Adam, you all drew lots before the show, and today you are going to go first. And Adam, it seems like you volunteered to take the first hit.
I did.
OK, Adam, welcome to the show. What do you do, Adam?
I work at a concert venue called Sage Gateshead.
Very famous.
I enjoy
fantastic.
very much.
How long have you worked there?
About a year now, and it's just fantastic. I get to see a lot of great stuff.
Right, OK. Now then, Adam, which of these are you going to go for?
Well, there's only really a couple I know for certain, so I am going to play it safe here. I'll go for Saint Laurent, first name, I believe, Eve.
Eve Saint Laurent, says Adam. Eve Saint Laurent. Let's see if Eve's right. Let's see how many people said Eve. Ooh, 91. Well, it's correct. I'll give it that. Yeah. 91, high score.
That is a big score, isn't it, for Yves Saint Laurent? Started working for Dior.
Tim, welcome to the show, Tim. What do you do?
I have my own business doing training courses in hotels throughout the UK.
Oh, that's fun. So do you have like a sort of your own little Fawlty Towers set and bring people in and you can throw problems at them?
Well, it's more things like fire safety and food hygiene these days, so it's stopping people from getting food poisoning or burnt.
What a good job. Good job you're there. What do you do when you're not preventing these things?
I volunteer with a radio station in Norwich, so I have a show on there interviewing people.
It's a chat show, essentially. It is,
yeah. Think Jeremy Vine, that
factual.
kind of thing.
I'm thinking Jeremy Vine. Who have you interviewed?
The most famous person I guess I've interviewed has been David Cameron, who popped in trying to win an election, which he kind of did, didn't he?
It was thanks to you,
Yes.
Tim.
It was, yeah. All thanks to me, yes, and our listeners who asked him difficult questions.
Well, now, Tim, designers.
Well, as you can tell, design is my
Your forte,
thing, isn't it?
yes.
Yes. So there is, I'm afraid, only one other. I thought the bottom one, but I think the only other one I know is Christian Dior, 1905.
Christian Dior. Let's see if Christian is right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Christian. It's right. 76. Another high score, but a lot lower than 91.
Yeah, Christian Dior launched his couture house in 1947, became something of an overnight sensation.
Now then, Mel, welcome back. Tell us about last time.
We got through to the head-to-head. We were at one each, and then, unfortunately, the topic of the Magna Carta came up.
Yes, Magna Carta. Yeah, that's right. Yes, you were out by quite a few centuries, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately so, yeah.
Oh, well, mind you, to be honest, the other two were pretty lucky to get through. Yeah, they just picked carefully.
Yeah.
They were completely out as well. Anyway, listen, that was another show. Today, it's going to be a very different story. I mean, look, we've got this.
Yeah.
Are you pleased with this?
Not too bad, yeah, not too bad. I know a couple up there. It's just whether if I go for a bit of an obscure one and hope it's right. I'm going to go for Wang. Vera.
Vera Wang, says Mel. Let's see if Vera's right for Wang, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 said Vera Wang. Is right. 31. There we are. There's a proper score. Well done, Mel.
Yeah, chiefly known for her wedding dresses. Terrific answer. Yeah, Victoria Beckham, she made it for J-Lo, Kim Kardashian.
Now then, Pete.
Hi.
Pete, welcome back. Oh, now, last time, both you and Nathan scored 1 in the first round. Fantastic. And then we threw fictional addresses at you. Oh, yes, that was a very tough round, that
Tough one.
Yeah, oh, yes, that's right. We had Jean Marple instead of Jane Marple.
Yes.
Now then, Pete, what do you make of this board?
It's not my favourite subject.
Do you think you could talk us through it?
I could possibly talk you through one. Could be pretty short, this talk through. I think the top one, I think the designer probably is Nina Ricci.
Nina Ricci, says Pete. Nina Ricci. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Nina. Very well done, Pete. That's a great answer. 48. 48 for Nina Ricci.
Well played, Pete. It's amazing how what big scorers our designers are, aren't they? 100 really knew what they were talking about here. Of these others, do you know Amy's?
Hardy.
Hardy Amy's, yeah, it's a big scorer, though. That's 62 points. The other two are low scorers, though. Do you know Herrera? Designs for all sorts of people, but First Lady, she's done Laura Bush and Michelle Obama. Carolina Herrera would have scored you 1 point. And Vionnet is a pointless answer. Well done if you said Madeleine. Madeleine Vionnet.
Very good. Clever to name yourself after a museum.
Oh, Vionnet.
Yeah.
That's good.
OK, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at the scores as they stand. 31, the best score of that past Mel. Very well done. Mel and Stuart taking a commanding position at this stage. Then up to 48, where we find Pete and Nathan. 76, where we find Tim and Vicky. And then Adam and Neil are way out in front on 91. So, yes, Neil, you're going to be the last person to have this board, which might be good. It might force you into saying something you wouldn't necessarily otherwise choose. Let's hope that's enough to keep you in the game. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 7 more fashion designers on the board, and here they come. We have got Schiaparelli, 1890, Cavalli, 1940, Cassini, 1913, Chanel, 1883, Westwood, 1941, Lagerfeld, 1938, and Hartnell, 1901. I'll read those all one last time. Schiaparelli, 1890, Cavalli, 1940, Cassini, 1913, Chanel, 1883, Westwood, 1941, Lagerfeld, 1938, and Hartnell, 1901. Now remember, Nathan, We are looking for the first names of these famous fashion designers, and obviously you're going to try and find the one you think the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now, last time, Nathan, you were dazzling when it was Scottish League football.
Yeah.
This time, again, it plays so to your strengths.
Yeah.
I know
Same
that you're
kind of
going to
thing,
find
really.
a...
Designers, Scottish football, yeah.
Kind of, yes, two sides of the same coin, aren't they, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Nathan? So what we want is a nice low-scoring answer, but you have first pick of the board.
Right, I think... There's a couple of obvious ones in there, but I think Lagerfeld, his first name is Karl.
Karl Lagerfeld, says Nathan. There's your red line there, Nathan. You want to be scoring 42 or less. Let's see if you can do that with Karl Lagerfeld. $45. 45, it takes your total up to 93. You are the high scorers now, but there are still 3 more answers required.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I suspect that might see you safe as well.
Now then, Stuart. Remind us what you do, Stuart.
Personal tutor. So I look after further education students, 16 to 23-year-olds. Just trying to help them get through their qualification and do a bit of teaching as well.
So does that mean you get, because obviously Mel is a teacher as well, does that mean you get lots of holidays?
Not as much. We still have our holidays during the school holiday terms.
But you get a bit of holiday. I mean, it's the upside of teaching generally, isn't it? So what do you do with your holidays? Do you go abroad?
Yeah, we do. We spend a lot of time going on different foreign holidays every year. Last year we went to Florida, had a great time there. This year we're off to Singapore and Malaysia. So we generally like to go to distant places.
Good stuff. OK. Now, well, you want to be scoring 61 or less, right. Stuart.
OK. I think I know one, maybe another, but I'm not going to take the risk just in case. So I'm going to have to plump for Vivienne Westwood.
You're going to go for Vivienne Westwood. There's Vivienne Westwood. Let's see. Here is your red line. You get below that, you're through to the next round. How many of our 100 said Vivienne Westwood? 86. 86 for Vivienne Westwood takes your total up to 117, Stuart.
That's good name recognition for Vivienne Westwood, isn't it? Yeah, she was a primary school teacher before she became a designer.
Really?
Yeah, she was. And she designed one famous wedding dress, which was Carrie Bradshaw's wedding dress in Sex and the City.
There you are. Thank you very much. Vicky. Vicky, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What do you do, Vicky?
I'm a senior support worker for a housing association, and I support people who've been homeless and they may have other issues. We support them to do things for themselves so that eventually they can go and get their own place in the community and do what they want to do with their lives.
Good for you. Very worthwhile indeed. Now, Vicky, you want to score 40 or less to see your place safely in the second round.
This is my worst nightmare.
Oh, no.
Absolutely my worst nightmare. So essentially, I'm toying between 2 picked-up random names and whether to go for the top one or the bottom one. But I think I'm going to go for the top one just because I want to try and pronounce it. So I'm going to go for Claudia Schiaparelli.
Claudia Schiaparelli.
Yeah.
Here's your red line. If you can get below that with Claudia, is that a guess, or do you think that's just...
It is a complete guess.
Sounds good to me. Claudia Schiaparelli. Let's see if that gets you down below that red line. Let's see if it's right to start with. No! Oh, bad luck. Not Claudia, as it turns out. That scores you the maximum of 100 points. I'm sorry, that takes your total up to 176.
Does sound convincing, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Claudia If you've just bought a Claudia Schiaparelli dress at your local market, I'm afraid it's a knockoff.
It's moody.
Yeah.
OK. Now, Neil. Neil. Now, how do you and Adam know each other, Neil?
We went to uni together.
Right, you are.
Yeah. We both did performing arts in Northumbria and graduated at the same time. We're in the same year, did a lot of shows together. And now we live together as well.
And what do you do now, Neil?
Well, I do a couple of things. First of all, to pay the bills, I'm a careers advisor. Just careers advice for young people between 13 and 18, either over the phone or online, web chat and stuff like that. And also, me and Adam have started running our own theatre company as well with 2 other people. Good for you. Very good indeed. Now, Neil, you're the last person to have this board. Talk us through all these designers and supply their first names. I'd love to, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm going to mirror Vicky's sentiments and say this is my worst nightmare as well. This is one of the topics that I would just have no clue on whatsoever. Barely heard of half of these as well, but something is knocking around in the back of my head. I've probably got it mixed up with a different designer, but I'm going to go with Giorgio Cavalli.
Giorgio Cavalli.
Which is probably wrong, but...
OK, Giorgio Cavalli, says Neil. There's your red line. Well, let's see if Giorgio Cavalli's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said it. No, bad luck, Neil. Not Giorgio Cavalli. That's great news to Vicky and Tim, who get to remain with us. But I'm afraid that scores you 100 points and takes your total up to an unbeatable 191.
Yeah, sorry, you might have been thinking of Giorgio Armani.
I knew
but,
it, yeah.
But it's Roberto Cavalli. Would have scored you 8 points. Now, Schiaparelli, it's not Claudia, it's Elsa, would have scored you 1 point. So it's a terrific answer. Cassini was Jackie Kennedy made him the official designer for the White House. They called him the Secretary of Style, and he was Oleg, and that was a pointless answer. So very well done if you did that. Now Chanel, I would have thought that perhaps one of you would have come up with a name for is Coco Chanel. She would have scored you 75. So that's a big scorer, and you'll know the bottom one. Another great British designer, Norman Hartnell. Would have scored you 50 points. So again, look at those bottom scores, some big scorers from our 100 people.
Very good, impressive. Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our first round, I'm afraid the pair heading home with their high score of 191, it's Neil and Adam. I'm so sorry.
Not your fault.
Well, I know, but I thought, did you not know Coco Chanel?
No, not a clue.
Oh, I see. I thought that was a gift for you there. No. But no, I'm afraid, yes, you are the high scorers. No arguing with that. But we'll get to see you next time. We'll look forward to that very much indeed. But meantime, thanks very much for playing, Neil and Adam.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. And so only 3 pairs remain. And at the end of this round, we'll be saying goodbye to another pair. Well, Tim and Vicky. Phew. Did you think you were going to be going with Claudia Schiaparelli?
We thought, yeah. I thought that Coco Chanel was a good answer. That was just waiting there that everyone would know. But fortunately, Neil didn't. No,
he didn't go for it. Didn't go for it. And here you are. Very well done.
Very glad to have lucked that one.
Good. Well, there we are. Well, who knows what this next round is going to be. Pete and Nathan are lowest scorers again in that round, as you were in the first round last time. Best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 is British actors. British actors. Happy with that, Vicky?
Another, not one of my favourites again. You're picking the wrong categories for me, Richard.
Come on now. I'm so sorry.
You're not picking my favourites.
What should I have gone for?
Football, books.
Football books. OK, I'll put that down for the next one.
Football, books all together.
Well, can you all... Listen, I'm just going to bring us back to British actors. There we are. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Daniel Day-Lewis films as they could. Daniel Day-Lewis films. Richard.
Yeah, he's the first man in history to win 3 Best Actor Oscars, and he's a Brit, so time to celebrate Daniel Day-Lewis. We're looking for any film for which he receives an acting credit, please. Any feature film made for cinema release, that is. Any TV films, short films, documentaries, that sort of thing won't count. But voice performances do count, as always. So any Daniel Day-Lewis film, very, very best of luck.
Right then. Vicky. Daniel Day-Lewis films.
You show me the face, I'll tell you the films. You tell me the name, I won't.
If I show you the face, I'll tell you the film.
Oh, this is great.
Is that what they...
I love riddles. Let's say that again.
You solve my questions instead.
John, should we describe his face?
Yes, describe his face.
He's quite handsome. He's quite thin-faced. He's got a nose, dark hair,
couple of eyebrows.
Yeah, at least. Mouth, chin. I mean, you know.
Because I can't picture him, the way I'm thinking of it is I'm just picking one of 2 films in my head, and one's probably going to have him in and the other's probably not.
Why? On what basis?
Because I'll probably pick the wrong one.
Oh, OK. I'm just thinking, if you don't know who he is, that's quite a hit rate to be.
It is. But I know they're both popular films of the year, so that's what I'm basing it on.
I see. Right, you are.
Well, most people are in Les Miserables, so I'll go for that.
Certainly we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Les Miserables, says Vicky. Let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Bad luck, Vicky. I'm afraid he was not in Les Miserables.
I'm my own 200-point club.
You are. You certainly are. But it may not be the last 100 points of the round, so don't give up.
Absolutely. And you're right, Vicky, most actors were in Les Miserables. It was actually 93% of actors were in it, but he unfortunately is one of the 7% who wasn't in it.
Now then, Mel.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Not great, I'll be honest. There's only one I can think of, and it's been a very recent film, so it's going to be probably quite popular. But I'm going to go for Lincoln.
Lincoln. Well, you might be taking other people's answers away with that, so it may not be a bad move tactically. Lincoln, let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 said it. It's right. 63 for Lincoln. 63. Actually, that's lower than I was expecting.
It could be a lot worse, couldn't it? It could be a lot worse. Yeah, there's a scene in that film where you hear Lincoln's watch ticking, and it's actually the sound of Lincoln's real watch.
Now then, Pete.
Hello.
Pete, Daniel Day-Lewis films.
I was thinking of the one that Mel has just said, but I was dubious about the title. But the only other one I know, I think he was in, he won an Oscar for, was My Left Foot.
My Left Foot, says Pete. My Left Foot. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. It is right. 63, our best score so far. You passed that. 41. Good score, Pete. Best score so far.
Yes, plays Christy Brown, won his first Oscar for that role.
Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. Pete, once again, securing a nice position for him and Nathan on 41, then up to 63, where we find Mel and Stuart, and then up to 100, where we find Vicky and Tim. Now, Tim, there may be other hundreds to come, but if you can make sure that one of those isn't yours, that might be enough to keep you in the game and see you in the head-to-head. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're looking for Daniel Day-Lewis films. Nathan, your dad has done you pretty well there.
He has indeed,
You're
yeah.
on 41.
Great job.
If you can score 58 or less, you're in the head-to-head.
Right, I think, and I say think because I do only think, that I know one more Daniel Day-Lewis film that hasn't been said. I think he was in something called There Will Be Blood.
There will be blood, says Nathan. Here comes your red line. There will be blood. If you get below that red line with there will be blood, you are in the head-to-head. Let's find out, is it right? How many people said it? It's absolutely right, Nathan. Very well done indeed. And you are through to the head-to-head. 26. 67, your total.
Yep, we've now heard all three of his Oscar-winning roles as well. That was from 2007, There Will Be Blood. It's 14 minutes before there's any dialogue in that film.
Yes.
That's a long film as well.
Do you remember that Pointless episode where there was 14 minutes before we said anything?
And that had the highest ratings of any Pointless episode ever. It's amazing.
Yeah, they loved that.
Yeah, they really did. That is weird, isn't it? They love it. The less we say, the happier everyone is.
Yeah.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps because they get excited about what we're going to say.
Probably.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Yeah. Well, we should say no more.
I have to apologise to Mel. Daniel Day-Lewis films I'm not too hot on, but I'm going to have a guess. The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill.
The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill. Well, you want to score 36 or less. That's what it looks like. There's your red line. The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill. Is that right? How many people said it, if it is? Bad luck, Stuart. I'm afraid an incorrect answer scores you 100 points, and that takes your total up to 163.
Sorry, Stuart. Yeah, that was The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain. It starred Hugh Grant.
Tim.
Right, yeah,
Tim.
sadly the ones I knew have gone. But when Richard was talking there, he did mention voiceovers, so possibly he's done some animation or some voices in animated films. So I'll take a punt at Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. OK, that's a bold punt, but who knows? It could be right. You want to be scoring 62 or less with this, Tim. There is your red line. If you get below that, you're in the head-to-head. Pocahontas. Is Daniel Day-Lewis in that? No. Bad luck, Tim. I'm afraid another incorrect answer, which scores you the maximum of 100 points, taking your total up to 200.
I said right at the beginning of this round that it's time to celebrate Daniel Day-Lewis, and I feel like we've done the opposite.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger answers people didn't say here. Gangs of New York would have scored you 34. Last of the Mohicans would have scored you 32. In the Name of the Father, that would have scored you 15. Sandra, you think you have an obscure one?
Oh, I got one called Nanu. Nanu. N-A-N-O-U. N-A-N-O-U.
And in this film, you're imagining what happens?
It's a half French, half English film, and he was a very young actor in it.
And why? And where has this come from in your brain?
Because a cousin of mine was in it with him. Played his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, it's a great film. Oh, it's a brilliant film. Yeah, you should have seen it. Actually, you really should have seen it.
Well, Nanu, if you just said it to me, it's a pointless answer.
Yes. Look at that.
And there's only two pointless answers in all. Eversmile, New Jersey being the other one. So Nanu would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Some other low scorers: Stars and Bars and The Ballad of Jack and Rose would have scored you 1. The Bounty would have scored you 2. The Unbearable Lightness of Being 3 and The Age of Innocence 5. Room with a View and Gandhi both would have scored you 9, and The Boxer would have scored you 10. So he's been in lots of good films.
Plenty.
But you just wouldn't know it from.
No.
But 3 Oscars, and those are the 3 answers we had. Nothing else. Still.
He should have done Pocahontas. That was his first mistake.
He should have done. Perhaps you can do Pocahontas 2.
Yes. I'll suggest it too.
He did Last of the Mohicans. That's a similar vibe, isn't it, to Pocahontas?
Yeah. Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So, Tim and Vicky, I'm afraid at the end of our second round, it is you, with your high score of 200, who will be leaving us. But thank you very much for playing. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time. Tim and Vicky. But for the remaining 2 pairs, it's now time for our head-to-head. Congratulations, Pete and Nathan, Stuart and Mel. You're now 1 step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £5,000. So in order to decide which pair goes through to the final and plays for that money, you're now going to go head-to-head. The difference being you're now allowed to confer. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that money. Well, Stuart and Mel, you've been here before. Oh, in fact, last time you were our golden couple, our lowest scoring pair. And now look, Pete and Nathan, our other returning pair. They've seen you off the pedestal there.
This side was luckier last time, though, so that's what I'm
yeah, it's
going
true.
with.
It doesn't always favour the people who go first. But I think this is going to be a very exciting 3rd round. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. OK, here comes your first question, and it concerns French buildings. French buildings, Richard.
We're going to show you some pictures now of famous French buildings. You just need to tell us the most obscure. Good luck.
OK, let's reveal our 5 French buildings, and here they are. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. There we are, 5 French buildings. Pete and Nathan, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first.
Right, yeah. Just looking at them, I'm not sure of some of the buildings, but I think C could be the Montmartre in Paris.
Montmartre. Montmartre. OK. Now then, Stuart and Mel. Do you want to talk us through all of them, if you can? Have a punt at some of them and then say which one you want to submit.
I'm not entirely sure of A or B. I would have gone for a different answer on C.
You can say which one it would be.
I personally would have thought it was Notre Dame, but we're going to go for D, which is the Pompidou Centre.
The Pompidou Centre, you're going to say for D. Pompidou. So, Pete and Nathan have gone for Montmartre. Let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. No, I'm afraid it's not. Stuart and Mel, all you have to be is correct with the Pompidou Centre. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. Very well done, you've done it. $30. Very well done. After one question, Stuart and Mel, you're up 1-0.
Yeah, the Montmartre is the area of Paris where the Sacré-Cœur is, the big white church. And Mel, you're right, it is Notre Dame, see? And would have scored 29 points. So would have won the point. If you said it, A is the Pantheon in Paris. That would have scored you 2 points. B is in Strasbourg, and it's the European Parliament. That would have scored 6. And E is, of course, the Louvre. And that would have scored 55. Very well done if you got all 5 of those at home.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, here comes your second question. Now, Pete and Nathan, you have to win this one to stay in the game, but Stuart and Mel, you get to go first this time. It concerns the moon. The moon, Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you a list of clues now to facts about the moon as it appears in popular culture. Can you give us the most obscure answer to these questions?
OK, let's reveal our clues, and here they are. We have got 1980s children's series featuring Mr. and Mrs. Spoon, Tina Teaspoon and Egbert. French director of the 1902 short film A Trip to the Moon. Title of the Oscar-winning song featuring the lyric Dream Maker, You Heartbreaker. Animal that jumped over the moon in the nursery rhyme Hey Diddle Diddle. And the actress who played 9-year-old Addie Loggins in Paper Moon. I'll read those all one last time. 1980s children's series featuring Mr. and Mrs. Spoon, Tina Teaspoon and Egbert. French director of the 1902 short film A Trip to the Moon. Title of the Oscar-winning song featuring the lyric Dream Maker, You Heartbreaker. Animal that jumped over the moon in the nursery rhyme Hey Diddle Diddle. And the actress who played 9-year-old Addie Loggins in Paper Moon. There we are, 5 clues to facts about the moon. Stuart and Mel, you go first.
I don't know. I'd go for number 1. Yeah. Well, we're going to go for the first one, the 1980s children's series. And we're going to go for Button Moon.
Button Moon. Button Moon, say Mel and Stuart. Pete and Nathan. Do you want to talk us through the board?
Yeah. What jumps over the moon?
Well,
Is
the cow jumps over the moon on the fourth one.
I think that'll definitely be higher than what
I'm just
Stuart
trying to
Mel
think
gave.
of the actress who played Addie Loggins in Paper Moon. Any idea on that one?
No, I don't know the 9-year-old actress, sorry.
Not sure of the French director. We'll have to go probably
the cow.
for the cow jumped over the moon.
The cow jumped over the moon, say Pete and Nathan. OK, so Button Moon, say Stuart and Mel. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said Button Moon. He's right. 37. 37 for Button Moon. Pete and Nathan, you have gone for the cow who jumped over the moon. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said that. It's right. Ooh, look at that, 86. Big score for the cow. Very well done, Stuart and Mel. After only 2 questions, you're through to the final 2-0.
Yeah, very well played, Stuart and Mel. You know that nursery rhyme, Hey Diddle Diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with a spoon, is a myth. It didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, it's the whole, literally no basis in fact.
The whole thing's just fantasy, is that what you're saying?
And over the years, we've come to accept that, and it's become a, part of our belief system.
Wow.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
There you
it's amazing,
go.
yet they still teach it in schools, so spread the word if you can. Now, let's fill in the rest of these. Do you know the Oscar-winning song?
It's Moon River.
The wonderful Moon River, yeah. Would have scored you 20 points, written for Breakfast at Tiffany's. The actress later went on to marry John McEnroe. Tatum O'Neill would have scored 18 points. And the best answer on the board by a mile, the French director of the film A Short Trip to the Moon, Georges Méliès, and that would have scored you 4 points. That's the best answer right there. Well done to 4 of our 100.
Yeah, impressive.
That's good going, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I'd known that, I would want a pointless answer for it.
Yes, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Disappointed. Thanks very much indeed. Now then, at the end of our head-to-head round, I'm so sorry. This is where we have to say goodbye to Pete and Nathan. So much better than last time, round 2. And a great performance throughout the show. Really good low scores from you, but I'm really sorry. Stuart and Mel whipped it from under your noses there. But thanks so much for playing, Pete and Nathan. Been great contestants. Brilliant. But for Stuart and Mel, it's now time for our pointless final. Congratulations, Stuart and Mel. You've fought off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy. you now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £5,000. You've done it. You've done it. What do you hope is going to come up in this round?
Sports, capitals,
Yeah, maybe a bit of
American
geography
states.
or something, yeah. Geography would be good.
Something with French.
Maybe, yeah.
German.
Yeah.
Yes. OK, well, very, very best of luck. Now, as always, the first thing you have to do is choose a category. Here are your 4 choices. They are famous parents and their children, British tennis, contemporary artists, 1970s Britain.
What do you reckon then?
I don't think I know enough about it.
1970s Britain doesn't really
No.
thrill me, to be honest.
No.
Nor artists. I think you know a bit more about tennis.
I
at
do know a
least.
little bit about tennis, but I don't think enough. Possibly famous parents and their children.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's... Yep.
Yeah, all right then. Yeah.
OK, famous parents and their children. Richard.
OK, as always, you're going to have 3 options, so hopefully there'll be a bit of variety here. Your 3 options are any top 40 single by Ozzy or Kelly Osbourne, any novel written by Kingsley or Martin Amis, or any film starring Vanessa Redgrave or Jolie Richardson. So any Ozzy or Kelly Osbourne top 40 single in which they are credited under their own names, any novel by Kingsley or Martin Amis, or any Vanessa Redgrave and Jolie Richardson film, feature films made for cinema release, no TV films, short films, documentaries, anything like that. Very, very best of luck.
OK, as always, you've got a minute to come up with 3 answers. And in order to win that jackpot of £5,000, just one of those answers has to be pointless. Now, remember, the answers you can provide can come from any 1, 2 or 3 of those 3 categories. Ozzy or Kelly Osbourne singles, Kingsley or Martin Amis novels, Vanessa Redgrave or Jolie Richardson films. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Okay, I'm hoping you're going to know some.
Not the best, actually. That's come out of this, in all fairness.
Number 2, I haven't got a clue.
No, me either, so let's ignore that one. So let's just think of maybe songs.
That Kelly and Ozzy have done. What was the band that he was in?
I can't really remember, in all fairness, as well. Let's just think of some songs by that they may have done, kind of indie ones.
I really don't know. She's obviously...
Redgrave.
Vanessa Redgrave.
The picture her.
No.
No, me either. I was in Kelly Osbourne singles. Got 30
I think
seconds.
she's been in more kind of older films, hasn't she? But I
Try
don't...
and think of a film, and I'm going to think of some songs.
It's going to be random answers. We really haven't got a clue.
I really can't put any out there at the moment. Mine's gone blank. Ozzy and Kelly Osbourne singles.
10 seconds left.
Something like Shout
Dad.
or something like that. Didn't she do?
Father figure.
Ones that she's done on her own, though, isn't it? Maybe, or I
and
don't
Ozzy.
know.
OK, I'm afraid that is your time up. I now need 3 answers from you.
Right, OK. We're really not too good on this category, unfortunately.
Jolie Richardson, I think, maybe put in Panic Room.
OK, so Panic Room for...
Panic Room for Jolie Richardson or Vanessa Redgrave films. Yep, Panic Room.
I'm sure Kelly's done something. Father.
Father,
Yeah.
as a single by Kelly Osbourne.
And top one then, maybe instead of as well as Father, let's go with Parents.
Parents,
Yeah.
another Kelly Osbourne single. She's... Yeah, she wants to talk to someone about this.
Yeah.
Of those 3 answers, which is your best shot at a pointless...
Parents. Yeah, Parents.
You're going to put Parents at the end. That's going to be our best shot at a pointless answer. And your least likely?
What was the other one you
Probably
said?
the film.
Father? Was that
Probably the film.
Panic Room.
Panic Room, we'll put first. OK, let's pop those up on the board in that order. And here they are. We have got Panic Room, Father, Parents. Well, very, very best of luck. That was a tough board for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
OK, well, your first answer was Panic Room. This was a Jolie Richardson film, you thought. Let's see if it's correct. If it's correct and then it's pointless, you leave here with £5,000. Panic Room. How many people said it? Is it right? No bad luck. Your second answer was a shot at a Kelly Osbourne single, Father. Now, if this is right and it goes all the way down to 0, you will leave here with £5,000. Let's just say Father or Parents ends up being a correct and pointless answer. What would you do with £5,000, Stuart?
Well, first of all, I'd pick myself off the floor. I think we like to go travelling quite a bit. I think we'd go to Canada, a holiday there, but I'd also visit a place in Nova Scotia. It's where my great-granddad is buried. He was on the Titanic.
Really?
So yeah, it'd be nice to.
That would be amazing.
One member of the family to pay their visits, maybe.
Yeah, oh, well, very good. Well, I'm sorry that it's father and parents that,
yeah, there you go.
that,
I should have said
that such a meaningful trip is hanging on. Mel, anything else? What would you like to do?
Again, maybe obviously go on holiday. And if we did win as well, we're going on holiday later in the year to Singapore and Malaysia. So maybe upgrade, go first class would be nice. Very
nice. Good stuff. OK, well, let's see. Your next answer being father, let's see if that's pointless. Is that really a Kelly Osbourne single? We'll find out. No, bad luck. So I'm afraid everything is now resting on your final answer, parents, another Kelly Osbourne number. Let's find out, is it right? And if it is it pointless for £5,000? No, bad luck. Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, which means you don't leave with today's jackpot of £5,000, which rolls over onto the next show. But we've really enjoyed having you on the show. And you do, of course, get to take home a pointless trophy each. So very well done.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm ever so sorry. I think perhaps actually where father and parent came into your mind is her biggest hit, Kelly Osbourne's biggest hit, was a cover of Papa Don't Preach. But that would have scored you 4 points. The biggest score on there is Kelly and Ozzy Osbourne had a #1 single together called Changes. That was the biggest score, though. Let's take a look at some of the pointless answers in all of those categories. These are Gets Me Through was Ozzy Osbourne's single. That was the double A side with Dreamer. One Word, another Kelly Osbourne top 10 hit. That would have been a pointless answer. And 2 more Ozzy Osbourne singles, Perry Mason and So Tired. All of those would have won you the money. Now, Martin and Kingsley Amis, there were quite a few pointless answers. Girl, 20, Night Train and other people, Martin Amis novels. The Russian Girl you could have had. You could also have had The House of Meetings, Lionel Asbo, Martin Amis's recent novel. That would have been a pointless answer. Well done if you said any of those. And Vanessa Redgrave and Jolie Richardson films, there were hundreds, but here's some of the more well-known. These are all Vanessa Redgrave films. Crime and Punishment, Girl Interrupted. She's in Murder on the Orient Express. She's also in Wild. So well done if you said any of those at home, and tough luck here. So tough category for you.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Stuart and Mel, but we've loved having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. Great contestants, Stuart and Mel. Well, sadly, Stuart and Mel didn't win our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £6,000. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.